What's going on? We got another video for you this week. And this, if you can't read, was going to be about the new Animal Crossing Direct that just happened. Before we get started, I think we should go ahead and let people do their intros. Shay, ladies first.
Hello. Name Shayla. There it is.
You're not going by Captain Shay today?
I am Captain Shay. Again, if you want to cash app me $5 and see if you get a picture of a foot, be it mine or a baby, feel free. It may just be off Google. It's CaptinShay.
And recurring guest as well, Zen Typhoon.
It is your boy Zen Typhoon, aka Young Pokemon Master, aka Young Tetris God, aka I'm here.
Oh my god, Chrono's gonna have a freaking flip with y'all stealing his AKA shit. Anyway,
tell that nigga he did not make that up. So why he up there talking about stealing?
Surprise show up from First Lady of the Podcast, Lisa. Say hi to everyone.
Hello everyone.
She would be giving her 2 cents, but she doesn't really know too much about Animal Crossing, neither do I. And she's sick. So if you hear a teacup in the background, no, we're not in the sucking place. She's just drinking tea.
There's nothing wrong with tea. Tea is amazing.
There's nothing wrong with tea at all. I'm an avid tea drinker. Might be part British. I don't know. We're just going to go ahead, and I think before we get into the actual direct, I think we should go ahead and let you guys give your experiences with Animal Crossing, and probably just give it a what is Animal Crossing for people who are not initiated. I'll let you go first, Shayla.
Animal Crossing is a kid-friendly version of The Sims. Like, you have your little Nintendo character, and you go around and you help these adorable animals that have the worst sounding voice ever, and you fix stuff up or bring them fruit or fish or things like that, and you can decorate your home. Or since I play mostly the mobile game, I decorate a campsite and a cabin, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's very addictive.
Okay. Zen, you want to give your experiences with Animal Crossing before we get into it?
Certainly. So, Animal Crossing, in my eyes, Shayla pretty much hit the nail on the head. It's a life simulator. You get to play about a village and design your home and interact with different NPCs and basically just simulate life. It's a fantastic game that has kept up with other more popular life sim games like The Sims or other like life sim MMOs and such. It's made by Katsuya Iguchi. His ability to tell narrative with not very much actual dialogue, I guess, making the ability to make you feel a certain way just by presenting some elements in your gameplay has always been something that I've admired from him. I've played the game since the GameCube versions. The game gets you right in there, and right away you're in debt living alone in a town full of animals as an only human.
You owe your life to a raccoon.
Right, it's definitely a down the rabbit hole experience. But the game's really good. The bonds you get with NPCs who have set lines of dialogue just because they remember your birthday or gave you a t-shirt that's disgusting, but you wear it anyways, is definitely the bond that puts Animal Crossing players in their own category of dedicated.
Well, there are some avid fans of Animal Crossing from the outside looking in. It looks like it's a very, very, very rabid fan base that you don't dare say anything bad about it. I do see from the outside looking in, it does look like it's a very cool game. I've never been into those create your own type of fun type of games, but me and my wife Lisa are getting ready to buy Switch Lights here pretty soon, and we need some more games to play with each other. And I think this might be the first time to get my toe wet on this. If I'm be honest with you, Animal Crossing, from what it sounds like, is Nintendo's version of The Sims, and if I'm remembering correctly, Lisa was super into The Sims back in the day, so this would probably be my excuse to get initiated. I know if anything to get me interested, if you can get Lisa interested, I might at least try it.
Right. And this is kind of something to piggyback off of that with people who are uninitiated to Animal Crossing, or to people like AK who's not sure if he's gonna like Animal Crossing. I would say the top 3 super quick things that have really captured me, or things that I've told potential players before, is that Animal Crossing is a game that's good for everyone. It's kid friendly. It's got some humor in there that really only adults would catch. Not so much with like it's hidden and dirty, but it's adult as in the way that it does capture personality and people's thoughts and their stance on things. Like all of the villagers have their own not necessarily political views, but life views.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is it's a game that, unlike Sims, which I guess you can do it in Sims, but not really. Unlike Sims, the game never stops moving. It captures your device's clock and calendar to incorporate those elements of, is it winter? It's winter. Is it December 24th? Your villagers will now tell you about Box Day tomorrow when you have Christmas and stuff.
Oh.
It's
I was going
game-
to say it does location too, because you have northern and southern hemisphere.
Yeah, that it's a bit of a teaser to one of the updates. Is I believe has it been in previous games, or is that just for New Horizons that they're
like they've changed it a little for New Horizons, where it is you pick which one you are.
but
but-
normally it was based on location alone.
Well, with Pocket Camp it is, because
Oh,
like
okay.
they have certain things you can get. Like you can get fruit, you can get a lychee, a
Mhm.
grape, or a lime.
Gotcha.
And I know, living in the Midwest, I got lychees instead of grapes or limes, but like
Mhm.
different regions of people get different things.
So like
Right.
Pokemon Go.
Yes. And that's the cool thing about it, is as well as accommodating for people who play whenever they get the chance, because the game will always be moving, so you don't feel like, oh, I played Animal Crossing at the same time as my friend bought it, but he has so much more time to play it, so what's the point of me even playing it to try and keep up with him? You don't have to actively. It's a world that is constantly moving, and if you don't play for 3 weeks, work's busy, you go on vacation, you come back and you play, the animals will say, hey, we've missed you, I wonder where you've been, I tell me about it sometime over tea. And it's an amazing part of the game. And then my third detail I blanked on while trying to remember more specifics to my second one. So I guess we'll move on from that. Yeah, I lost it. Goes.
Okay, so I think we should go ahead and go get our.
I remembered.
Go ahead.
And this one was really important to AK, because for people who have, like a day job 9 to 5er, you can actually set your town in previous games to be a night owl town. Shops will stay open later. Villagers will stay up later before going to bed at night. So it's even further accommodating to people who just want a relaxing game to unwind and just play. So it's a very welcoming game. It's hard to say it's not the game for me unless you're someone who just
Hasn't played yet.
Right. Yet, or there are some people who don't like sim games. They just desire action or puzzles and stuff, and that's fine, to each their own. But it's definitely a game that is welcoming to most audience.
Well, Nintendo also has a very great thing for quality. Whenever they make anything, it's hard to say a game was just straight up trash when Nintendo puts their hands on it. It might not be your cup of tea, but I don't think there's been a Nintendo game I can remember in recent years that they had their hands on developing that was just straight up trash. So that alone, with the Nintendo pedigree, is enough for anybody to give it a shot. And I think as it is right now, there's no time better than the present to get started. But I think we should go ahead and give a rundown of what actually happened with the Direct, and then we can give our talking points in. I know you had a whole bunch of notes for that, Zen. Do you want to go first, or?
So what I kind of did here was I looked at the overview of the Direct, and for those of you who maybe you're just here for news on Animal Crossing and don't necessarily care to watch the whole 30-minute direct, they broke it up into 3 parts. And they have what we have now, what is confirmed, set in stone, it's presentable, we've got footage of it. The second portion was what we hope to have in the future. These are either things that we've got, it's just not perfected, things that we have promised you, and they are well on the way, so don't you worry, they'll be here by March 20th, or things that are planned and are going to come shortly after release. And then the third segment of the direct was an FAQ, frequently asked questions, for anything that people might be left wondering after the direct is over, or things that might not be included in the direct, but it does impact people's decision whether or not to purchase. In addition, I kind of just went down in chronological order from what I saw from... I grabbed like a quick table of contents of a random article's summary of it, just to grab kind of choosing points. So chronologically, the first really impressive thing from New Horizons that I saw was map generation. When you arrive at your island, you may choose the layout of your island, which is something that we've had mildly before. There have been people who, I believe in just this last game, New Leaf Welcome Amiibo, they had the ability to kind of choose the layout of what town you were going to, but it was very minor. Whereas with with this map, you've got, I believe I saw 4 options in the direct, and then an option to regenerate or something, or spawn more options. So I think that's really cool for people who have kind of more experience in Animal Crossing in general, and they know what they want their like end game in quotation marks town to look like. And I think that's something that definitely attracts people.
Hey, just a quick question, Shay. As somebody who does not have a Switch but is an Animal Crossing fan, what excites you more about this new iteration of the game? Just give your 2 cents.
I really like the details of it. Everything's already really clear because it is words are hard.
Mm-hmm.
It is Nintendo, but like with the new one coming out,
Mm-hmm.
there's more of not a story but a story. Like
Mm-hmm.
you have new characters, you have the same characters, you have new places, and you get to pick out new things, and the artwork of it is just really simplistic and beautiful, and it brings you back to this like childhood time, and it's nice.
So
Also, to quote one of
go
my
ahead.
friends, Isabella is thick.
That's right.
how many C's?
47.
I was gonna say 42, but 47
And
works.
that's an insult.
42
okay.
is the answer to life, dummy.
Okay, then give us a quick rundown of all the new stuff in the new Animal Crossing game, and then I think we'll go ahead and get out of here.
Sounds good. Here we go. Other details that really caught my eye were beforehand I had mentioned to everyone that the game had a function in previous titles where you could make your town an early riser town or a night owl town. Well, now you don't need to do that because they've offered the services tent that you start off with is 24 hours. This 24 hours means that you don't have to wait until the morning and stockpile all the things you've been collecting throughout the night to sell them or to go into different shops and donate to the museum. The museum's always been 24 hours, don't pay attention to that one. But the 24-hour access is cool because it accommodates people even further, which I think in a day and age where everyone's busy, everyone's different, and the games are trying to please everyone, accommodation, cool thing. Daily quests. The game featured a kind of daily message from Sir Nook himself, and he would be giving you missions, kind of like, hey, collect this kind of bug, or this many fish, or try to get a fish bigger than the last one you caught. And I think that's something that definitely increases the playtime, because as an avid fan of Animal Crossing as I am, I did find a sense of, okay, well, I've ran out of things to do for the day, so I guess I go to bed. Because there's only so many rocks that spawned in your villages per day. You can really only fish so much before your inventory's full, and you got to sell all the things you've caught. And villagers go to bed at a certain time. So closer to nighttime or even during the day, you can run out of things to do, which I think this daily quest will eliminate. The other slice of life changes that I noticed as apps on the phone: a camera, taking pictures, cool, social media, pop it on there. Designing. You could design not only the shirts and the hats and the shoes and stuff like you could in the last games, but now you can design the mug you drink your coffee or tea with, which I think is a really cool little touch. The map to look at your thing. In addition, a passport, which I think is similar to Pokemon players. If you played that, your trainer card, it's probably going to say
okay.
highest caught fish, highest bugs, stuff like that. A recipes tab. This game is about crafting now, because you are on a deserted island, forging it into your own thing. I guess we've talked about New Horizons, it's a game, and this is what Animal Crossing is. But New Horizons, for those of you who still don't know, is you're arriving on a deserted island with only 2 villagers to start with. And they're not villagers anymore, they're friends, townsfolk, I don't know. And you're trying to develop this island into your own and build it up into a thriving city. So you, in addition to purchasing things, you can craft things with something called DIY recipe. Being that that's an app on your Nook phone makes me think that it's not restricted as to where and when you can learn the recipes, which I think is really cool. So it means you can progress even when the town's sleeping or when you don't have any of your friends online who are playing with you. In addition to the Nook phone, there's a new kind of currency other than just bells. There are Nook miles. These are something you earn through, I believe, doing quests and just playing the game. This can be used for 3 things. A currency, so it can be used to, you can actually exchange your Nook miles earned to pay off your loans, which is what the whole game's progression rate is. It's how many loans are you paying currently.
That's very adult, by the way.
Yeah,
the kids is going to get
exactly.
paying off loans. That's what I guess that's part of the reason why you say it's for everyone. Just making a point. Go ahead.
You can also turn in your Nook miles for exclusive rewards like Nook branded t-shirts, hats, shoes, furniture, stuff like that. And in addition, the third thing, which I think is really cool, is you could buy a ticket to travel to a random deserted island. From what they mentioned, it'll have, random people on it who you might not have ever met before. It'll have random fruit. So, like Shayla was saying, if your town is an apple town and you want lychees or you want grapes, it's possible that when traveling, that the town that you travel to, or village or island, will have that fruit. In addition, it could show different insects because it could be a different season or different fish or any of the above. So I think it's a cool thing that allows you to grab the exclusivities that aren't in your island. So all in all, I think that's awesome. The other options to the phone that I saw were a rescue service, which what it does is it teleports you to your house or your tent or whatever you have. My first opinion of this when I saw it, I audibly out loud, I was watching the direct at work, said, that is so useless and dumb. Why did they include that? And then I realized, okay, three situations, fine. Time-sensitive mission. There are lots of times where you'll have a bug catching tournament, a fishing tournament, or get something to me by 7 p.m. when I go to bed. And you've got to get to that villager faster. A rescue service from one edge of town to your tent that might be closer to your objective is actually kind of handy. There have been many times where I've ran out of time to do things, especially with the holiday or alien, stuff like that. Pardon me. And friends who aren't familiar with your town can save time getting around. In addition, late game towns. If you've ever seen a person who maybe they still, to this day, play every day on Animal Crossing, New Leaf, Welcome Amiibo, their town is going to look phenomenal. It's going to have flowers and roadways and fences and gates and bridges, and sometimes you can't just walk from point A to B. You have to take their path. So I think the rescue services also help for that. Something that kind of adds, which is it segues perfectly into my next thing, is someone can't get around very well. Terraforming is now in the game. You can change where rivers are. You can mold the land, break cliffs. The GameCube version of Animal Crossing was a really bad offender for this. It had issues where one, maybe two of your villagers would be next to you in your house in the museum and the shop, and it'd be like in one area. And then there was a sheer cliff with only one point of access, and that's how you got to the lower section of your village, and all of your other villagers would be there, and the recycling yard and all that, the ocean, and it would be irritating to have to waste so much time to go around. And now they've kind of fixed that, which is a wicked thing. Seasonal and holiday events and updates have been, promised and shown, which is cool. Different things that if you log on during a holiday or the night before a holiday or something, complete the mini games or the puzzles, or just talk to the random event NPC to get cool rewards. Cross progression for Pocket Camp. You'll get rewards in New Horizons for playing Pocket Camp. You'll get rewards in Pocket Camp for playing New Horizon. So look forward to linking your Nintendo accounts
dope.
There. It does. I don't know the specifics of it. I haven't played Pocket Camp in probably over a year.
I just got back into it after 3 months off.
Are you under a pillow or something? What the heck?
Listen, when you're depressed, you don't do things. You just kind of let time pass.
Charlie Brown's parents.
You definitely sound like a Charlie Brown teacher.
Sorry.
There you go.
I didn't realize I was leaning on my mic. When you're depressed, you don't do things. You just kind of let time pass. But I just started playing again. Yeah, I mean, this is normal. It's the season. Midwest has no sun. Everything sucks. It's fine.
All gray.
Yeah. But I'm currently playing it now. Things the things Nathan was saying aren't exactly new, because those are already on Pocket Camp. They're just bringing it into the game, which is really cool. Because there's the beep beep motor, or OK Motors. There's the beep beep slot machine, and you can win bottle caps and buy little exclusive items, and then you have your bells, and you can talk to different NPCs and do things. They have, instead of hitting the roadways, they have an actual map, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 islands technically, and then you have your marketplace, OK Motors, and the dig site, quarry, and they now have you can play games to decorate for interior decoration and stuff. But you can hit your map and push whatever one you want to go to, and you just gotta click let's go, and it takes you there.
Okay. I know you said that you don't have a Switch now, Shay. What was keeping you hesitant to make that purchase? Would this be a game you think you would purchase a Switch for? Yes, no, maybe so?
The hesitation on making the purchase is it's a lot of money, and I'm a broke bitch.
That's fair. Hence the Cash App plug in the beginning.
Yeah, and I will continue to plug that again at Captain Shay. But no. But
saying you had the money wasn't an issue. What would be the?
Oh, if I had the money, I would have got it when the new Zelda game came out, Breath of the Wild.
That's fair.
That would have been my reason for getting it, and then I would have been like, well, what do I do with it now? And then found a bunch of other things to do, and then let it sit for 3 months, and then go back to it, and then let it.
Well, I mean, that's not true. You probably would have Pokemon, so I mean.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Listen, everything sits for 3 months, and then I'm like, you know what sounds really fun? Because my whole personality is just as addictive as playing The Sims.
I feel that. Well, I think we done ran through pretty much everything we need to, unless there was something else you needed to get off there.
I got 4 more things, but they're very fast, so I got through the meat of it already. The housing. They showed a really quick thing of the housing. It still had the same kind of system that it used in previous games, where you could basically make your character disappear, and then you're just looking at your room and you can drag it around. So that was cool. Further customization on furniture was also a thing that I noticed. So there's like, basic bed, blah, blah, or flower bed. They have ability to customize it further and now make the flower bed a red flower bed or a yellow flower bed, and a flower bed made of oak or maple. And so just further customization, which I thought was cool. Maximum online players, 8 at a time, dope. To the previous 4, I think. And then these are my negatives. Basically, my cons from what I've seen so far. No cloud data saves yet, which I just think
that's a Nintendo thing.
That's just a Nintendo thing. I'm not gonna blame the makers of Animal Crossing, but they do have plans for it in the future, I think. And then the other one is they do offer up to 4 players local on one screen at a time. However, it kind of works like some of the old PlayStation games where the screen's kind of locked. So Marvel Ultimate Alliance, it's locked on player 1, and that's what you got. So
it seems like when it comes to multiplayer and online stuff, Nintendo is 10 years behind when it comes to stuff like that. Nintendo is the old man of the gaming company. They just stubborn and stuck in their ways. They legit were dragged to the internet age, kicking and streaming. Fuck you, Shayla. I'm not old, okay? Stop it. But I honestly, all in all, it seems like this is another banger that Nintendo got in their camp, because Lord knows people were down in Pokemon, and it broke records and was selling like hotcakes after that so-called boycott they were going to do. So I think Nintendo knows what they're doing. They know their fan base, and it's looking like they got another W coming up pretty soon. Anybody got any last things they want to say before we get out of here?
No, I'm all set.
You got any social medias you want to shout out or anything like that?
No, I'm good on the social medias. I was just gonna do the normal plug for the Nerd Boys that I always do.
Shay, you want to shout out anything one more time before he does Nerd Boys shout out like you normally do?
Yeah. Once again, my Cash App is Captain Shay. She
just plugged her Cash App 3 times on this fucking.
I am a broke bitch. But no, basically all of my social media is Captain Shay. You can find me anywhere, really. I've been that since I was 11. I don't intend to change.
So on Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook.
Tumblr is... We don't talk about Tumblr. That you don't need my Tumblr.
Well, I mean...
a lot of weird shit all at once.
All the nasty stuff has been the erased, so I mean, it should be safe.
You'd be
now.
shocked.
I know better. I'm just...
a lot of weird stuff all at once.
Okay. We're just gonna leave it like that.
You can find my Instagram. I have a few, because for some reason when I was in high school I kept getting locked out and they wouldn't let me change the password. The one I'm currently using, I think, is Whispered Words of Wisdom, but if you search Captain Shay, it should come up.
Okay. Twitter,
YouTube, Instagram. No, we already did that. Basically everything's Captain Shay. Just search that. Also, because I want to take the limelight away from tall and lanky, listen to Nerd Boys. It's a really awesome podcast. I got a bunch of my friends into it, and now we sit around and talk about how just who's dumb, who's stupid, who's funny, and what they thought of it.
Just offer a little bit. Who do you think is the funniest of the podcast? Probably Chrono, right?
Yeah, I really enjoy listening to him just go off. He just says usually what I'm thinking, and then I can Jesus. He says usually what I'm thinking, and then I can throw back sarcastic remarks, and it's pretty great.
Zen, you want to take us out of here with your usual Nerd Boys shout out
Let's
thing?
do it. All right, guys, this has been one more amazing episode of the Nerd Boys podcast. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe down below. Hit that bell so you know the second that the Nerd Boys podcast uploads some awesome content for you. We have 43 subscribers. That is just about halfway to 100, and that's 1/10 of the way to a 1K. Let's make sure to spread the word. It's a great podcast. It's got some great content. It's got some great opinions. Sometimes some bad ones, but oh well. That's what happens in podcasts. Family friendly, unless your family's too family friendly for us, and then there's plenty of podcasts out there. And I've been Zen Typhoon.
Okay.
Did he just say family friendly?
Ain't nothing family friendly about this podcast. This is the Nerd Boys with featuring Shayla and Zen Typhoon, and we are out of here.
お前はもう